So, October 5th was my birthday. Today is the 7th. If you notice a thing over here, my girlfriend got me a bunch of balloons for my birthday. So I have balloons around my desk and stuff. But, she tried to, like, make the day nice for me. Normally every year I get depressed leading up to my birthday, and this year I did not. I realized the night before my birthday, I was like, I'm not in like a deep, dark doom place or whatever. I thought I was gonna be doing some stuff that didn't happen. That was fun, but um, it still worked out. It was okay. My girlfriend also, she took me out to dinner, and like when I took a shower that day, I came back and there was candy on my desk, and she tried to be really sweet about it. And tomorrow we're supposed to go have a big family dinner, but I don't know how much of my family is even going to show up because my parents got sick, and apparently my father has the flu. So yeah, it's all up in the air, but I'm not like depressed. And I don't know how much of that is testosterone definitely like alleviated depression for me so intensely. And I don't know how much of that is that I'm finally starting to like have done enough therapy and enough work on myself that it doesn't impact me emotionally in the same way, and I'm not like as distraught about some stuff from like growing up and childhood stuff and everything. I know I've definitely been doing a lot of work on myself. I've been doing, therapy every week, obviously, with my therapist, but also like she has me doing these therapy video things online on YouTube, and I just do like one or two a day, and that's also been helping me tremendously get more generalized education about terminologies and things that could apply to me. And I swear, some of this stuff is like someone put a video camera like following me around on a drone my entire life. Like some of it is very helpful. And like for instance, information about limerence and becoming like insanely attached like almost instantaneously to someone, and like love at first sight with them, like just and desperate for them to desire you and to love you, and that you feel this massive love for them or whatever, but you don't actually do anything to like pursue them because you know they wouldn't be interested. And so there's like this non-congruence between reality and this fantasy relationship that you're having with them. And apparently limerence is extremely normal for people who grew up with PTSD and, you know, emotionally unavailability plus abuse before the age of 5 and 6 or so. It's extremely normal that limerence is just sort of a result of that. Um, and I didn't even know it was a thing until this month. Like, I didn't even know that was a word. There's no way I could have articulated what I was doing my entire life. And it doesn't just have to be a person. Like, I've had limerence toward locations before too, but it's like you have this fantasy version of what's happening, what you hope is happening, what you wish is happening, and you're so intensely attached to it. And then there's the reality of what's happening. Oh, this person was just a little nice to you. That doesn't mean they love you. Don't look for a hidden message that maybe there's something more there. Um, and it comes from a place of desperation that is perpetuated over and over again throughout your life. And like, I think about, my relationships, and like even with my girlfriend, when I very, very first was attracted to her, I had never seen a picture of her, never heard her voice on like a voice chat. She was just typing in our guild in game, just typing. and writing some stuff. And I didn't care what she looked like, didn't care what her voice sounded like. I was super into her. And I had thankfully been through this enough times that I was like, okay, I know if I feel this intensely this fast, I need to avoid this person. I had at least gone through the trauma of dealing with how bad these relationships can end up that aren't even real relationships, that I knew I needed to avoid this. But of course, this time she actually had a crush on me back. And it ended up working out. And there were some hard things about it because one of the worst things about limerence is you have this fantasy version of the person instead of the real person. Um, and it's a huge disservice to the person because who they actually are could be a really great person or could be a cool person, but you don't care. All you care about is the fantasy version of that person. And like the majority of people I've felt limerence for were not even real people. That's how unavailable the person that you feel unrequited love toward, you know, can be, is that they're like someone from a book or from Star Trek or something when I was younger. Like, um, uh, it can be extremely intense because you've you are trying to feed yourself something that you need emotionally by attaching to the concept behind this person's personality or what they can do for you. Maybe they make you feel safe. Maybe they can teach you things. Maybe they make you feel protected. And maybe you feel like you're unlovable or unworthy. So the thought of them being super secretly in love with you is like super comforting. You just wish you were desirable. So feeling desired is a thing. Like there's so many different things, but the whole point is that you're so intensely attracted to this person because there's something missing that you're not getting in your real life, not because you're actually so intensely attracted to this person. Almost all limerence does not end up in a relationship. And thankfully, with my girlfriend in particular, it did end up in a relationship. And I've had to get past some of the expectations that I had for her because she's human. She's not superhuman. And some of the fantasy that was there, you have to kind of navigate what's real versus what was just you pushing something onto someone. And that can make a lot of pressure on a relationship. So it can be really difficult. And you know, these are just big giant things that are impacting me and I'm learning about and everything, um, that are helping me. And then when I see my therapist, we talk about stuff that's been impactful. And some of the stuff, you know, you're kind of like, I don't feel like this applies to me, you know, or, you know, I can see how this applies to me, but it really isn't like a big deal or things like that. And then some things it's like, man, I have never been able to explain this in my entire life, and someone just explained it in a way that exemplifies my experience. And that's a really big thing. And I I just have been trying to grow and change and better myself a lot. I got my second letter for surgery. I found my therapist. She gave me a list of therapists who said that they might be willing to do it, and I found someone on that list who did it pro bono. She is like, this is my way of taking a stand against the stupid insurance like mumbo jumbo, and I just want to help. And like I emailed her all the information that would probably be pertinent beforehand. We talked for like 11 minutes and made sure you know, she went over a few really important things quickly through my life and my experiences and, you know, what made me feel, you know, what and how long I'd been diagnosed with gender dysphoria and so on and so forth. And then she emailed me afterwards the letter. I helped her edit it. She sent it in. Like it was thankfully something I feel like took her less than an hour of her actual time since she did do a pro bono. But she was like, normally I'll charge if someone can afford it, but I don't have a job right now. Um, and so she was like, yeah, you're poor, pro bono. Don't even worry about it. Like, I'm happy to do it. Which was amazing. So thank you to her. Um, she'll probably never see this, but just I can't even express the gratitude that my letters are all turned in for my surgeries. So my doctor sent in a letter to the surgeons, and then my therapist sent in a letter to the surgeon, and then the second therapist sent in a letter to the surgeon. And that's what's required for insurance to cover the surgery. They require two separate therapist letters instead of just the one, like with top surgery. Um, and my appointment for the hysterectomy and everything went pretty good, and they're going to combine some of the stage one with the hysterectomy, which is awesome and amazing. Um, and hopefully my actual surgeon will be able to go in while I'm under, which would also be amazing to not have a full-blown consult and physical examination for stuff while I'm awake, because I definitely would not be okay. And then, you know, there's also, my doctor sent me a letter to send to the state of Alaska because that's where I was born. And I was talking to some of my trans friends, and some of them are in Ohio, and they were like, oh yeah, in Ohio it's county to county, and some places like all you have to do is just like go in and prove you're you, and then some places you have to have like letters from a doctor or something, and that's it. Like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, Ohio, and they usually are complaining all the time about how backwards Ohio is and conservative Ohio is and all this stuff. In Alaska, I have to provide documentation to them. First, I have to provide them an original document from my name change stuff, and then I have to provide them a letter from my doctor that states that I permanently intend to be transitioned, that I have had a surgery of some sort toward transitioning, and that I've been on testosterone for at least a year. So, like my friend in Ohio who did it, their birth certificate was like, oh, the letter just had to say that, yeah, I was definitely intending to be permanently transitioned. And they were like, yeah, I didn't have to tell them I had been taking testosterone or that I had a surgery or anything. And I was just like, you know, grats. I'm glad that they were less, harsh about it or whatever. And supposedly, even after I go through all of this rigmarole for changing my birth certificate in Alaska, it's still gonna say amended. It's not gonna just be a new birth certificate. It's gonna have amended on it somewhere in small letters, which is annoying. But at the same time, what do you do? But at least things are moving forward toward that. A couple of things need to be printed out, and I have to fill out an extra form, and then I should have everything I need to send and get my birth certificate done. It's like expensive. It's like $90, which apparently it was in Ohio too. So, but yeah, it's gonna be expensive to get it done, but at the same time, like if you just want a birth certificate, it's $30. But if you want to make changes, then it's $30 per change, which is a name change and then the gender change. And then on top of that, if you want it to actually happen, it's another $11, because it's either $11 and they'll do it within the week, or else you don't pay any extra and they'll do it whenever they get to it. She's like, technically it's like 2 months or something like that, but in reality, it's when we get to it. And I'm like, thank you for the warning. And she's like, yeah, just pay the $11. It will save you a lot of stress. And it's like, and then it's another $9 to have a tracking number on it. Otherwise, it just gets lost in the mail and you have to pay all the money again. And it's like, it's expensive. Thankfully, my girlfriend said she'd pay for it for my birthday present, but yeah, getting your birth certificate stuff updated is a pain in the butt, apparently. But I really want to get it done because, A, one less thing that people can like harp about my old name with, and B, it's like I'd like to get my passport. I would like to get, a job in the future and not have conflicting documents and stuff like that. And so, have a social security number that says one name and a driver's license that says one name and has a gender on it, and then my birth certificate's different. Like, I don't want to deal with that kind of anxiety, let alone the constant explaining to people or like having to submit job applications and it it'll be a lot better. Even if it does say amended on it. I can just tell them, hey, I got my name changed. Um, they don't have to know about the gender thing. But yeah, I'm glad that that stuff's going well because I have still been dealing with a lot of other stuff. I think maybe that's why I didn't go into a big, deep, dark depression because I already had been dealing with a lot of other things in real life. And having the space and the capacity to do that was an important thing. I know eventually I would like to get to where I'm doing a lot better and more functional and able to talk more about things. I talked with a friend recently and had explained that I was basically somewhat avoiding them because we were mutual friends with someone that I was trying to give a lot of space to and stuff. And he was like, no, 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 no. I love you guys equally. I have no interest in taking sides or being in the middle of things. I don't want you to be less my friend or to take a step back from our friendship. Which was the first friend that has said that. Like, actually come out and said that to me out of all of the friends that were mutual. So that's a big deal. That meant a lot to me. I just I don't know if it's because of how I grew up or being degraded a lot and stuff that I don't like to make people look bad, or if it's like part of my white knight syndrome that I don't want to hurt someone or what, but I have a really hard time, even if it's the truth, talking about another person's deviant behavior or ways that they may have hurt me or ways that they may be sick or not okay. Like I have a hard time speaking about things even when like they're technically they're true, but I've never been a gossip. I've never been the kind of person who's like, yeah, I'm super excited to talk about, like, we have a couple of family members in my family who we talk about, and I can talk about them for like 10 minutes and laugh along with, their behavior or whatever, but if it goes longer than that, then I start trying to change the subject and stuff because I'm really uncomfortable with it. And on the one hand, it's like universally accepted that there's certain family members we have that do certain things that are truly not okay. Like just outright, it's not okay. But on the other hand, I don't feel comfortable. On the one hand, you want to be like with the person in front of you, laughing and joking and getting along and being like in a camaraderie state. But on the other hand, there's just something in me that feels uncomfortable with degrading people. Um, and again, even if it's 100% the truth, um, it's just very hard for me. On top of that, my baby sister has been talking a lot about, some serious things with me, and it's nice to talk to her. It's very impressive to me that she's thinking about things at her age that I didn't think about until way later, and I'm so proud of her. I just hope she does the things that are right for her and not the things that she feels like she's like supposed to do or something. Like I really, really want her to pursue her own life and her own happiness. Um I I've found that for some reason lately like in my trans group and stuff, like I've been very, I don't know, having insight or helpful to people. Like they've been getting a lot of like the like help for their own life or things that they were questioning or dealing with in their own life from me. And I don't know if that's because I'm doing so freaking much therapy or if it's because I just went through some really hard stuff and I'm starting to come out of it and I'm like in this highly introspective state or if it's just like I'm doing better. I don't know what it is, but I've been like actively sought out for advice about things or like been able to give it an input and someone say, "Oh wow, that I needed to hear that," or that was really impactful, or I relate to that, like so I don't know what that is, but um I was thinking about, with work and stuff, um it would be nice to find like I don't know some boys or something that I could babysit, but I feel like it's really hard when you're a guy to be able to do that, even if you have a really long history of working with kids and stuff. I thought, oh, maybe that would be easier than doing like outdoor stuff because in Washington State we do have, a rainy season for half the year. And I don't know, I was thinking about that, but I don't see a way around the fact that there is a stigma around men, and a lot of times rightfully so, but still I don't know how I could do that, work with kids. And it be like really part-time. My biggest thing with a job is I need it to be a part-time job. So that makes things a little more weird because it's less flexible. For all I know, I may end up doing like phone calls or something. I don't know. Be like a customer service person. But I don't want to work long hours. And I feel like they're always pressuring you when you do that kind of work to do more hours or come into the call center for extra overtime or I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know for sure what I will do for my job. Maybe I'll just go work at Target. I don't know. But that's not something I have to deal with right now. That's a couple of months away, but it is something I have been thinking about. Um, yeah, I don't know. I haven't had any more changes from testosterone that I'm aware of. I'm still taking it every week, still the same amount, still the same testosterone levels. Basically 700 to 900 ish. Um, so that's none of that's changed. It's mostly birth certificate and surgery on my mind right now. um, but I have been streaming more, and that's been kind of fun. Every once in a while, someone comes along and asks me questions, and I get to help them do something in the game, Guild Wars 2, and it's like I don't know. I get a good sense of fulfillment from helping people. So it's kind of nice that I've been able to like be there for people or help them with some of their personal stuff that they've been dealing with. I don't know why all of a sudden that's something that's happening a lot, but um I don't know. It makes me feel good to help people. Um Especially with everything that's happened recently and feeling like everything I do is wrong. It helps remind me that not everything I do is wrong, that that's way too extreme. Like, yes, I make mistakes, but not everything I do is wrong. And I am trying to do better. I am trying to be better. And things are finally starting to move forward just a little smidge, and hopefully that continues.